Welcome back. Well, 2022 has been a volatile year for the Indian market, with the Nifty higher by about 3% on a year-to-date basis till now. Some mutual funds, however, have managed to outperform and generate returns way higher than the benchmark. Pavitra is joining us and getting us a roundup of the standout performers from the mutual fund space in the year gone by.
As we wind down in this year, we thought it would be really interesting to look at how mutual funds have performed versus the benchmark. So let's now talk about the performance of large, mid and flexi cap funds today. This is all data from Morningstar, and I'm going to start with the large cap category. On your screen now is the one-year performance of the top 10 largest large cap funds. The benchmark return for this period is around 11%. And now let's compare how all of these funds have fared versus the benchmark. The best, like you can see on your screen, is the Nippon Fund. It has a return of nearly 17%. HDFC is a close second. And then you have the ICICI Pru Fund, which has clocked in a return of around 12.5%. Apart from these, none of them have managed to beat the index. So let's not stop at just a one-year return. Let's actually zoom out and take a look at 3-year and 5-year returns as well. And unfortunately, things don't look much better when you do that. A scorecard for the large cap funds will show you that for a one-year period, only 4 of the 28 managed to beat the index. Remember, 3 of these are already the funds that we spoke about from the top 10 largest fund list. This is what I showed you in the previous slide. In terms of 3-year returns, only 2 of the top 10 and 4 of the total 26 managed to beat the benchmark. And then if you want to move out even further, you will see that you had only 1 of the top 10 and also 1 of all 25 that could beat the benchmark over a 5-year period. So this is a complete recap on how the large cap funds did. But let's now move on and talk about the mid cap funds as well. This is the top 10 largest mid cap funds and the one-year return. The benchmark for this period came in at 8.74%, and only 4 of the top 10 funds by size managed to beat that. HDFC did the best, like you can see. It clocked in a return of 16%. This was followed by Nippon at 11%. And then you had Sundaram with a little over 9%. Let's also bring the scorecard up for you. And there you'll see that 4 of the top 10 and 8 of the total 25 could beat the benchmark. This is for a one-year period. If I look at the 3-year annualized returns, you'll see 3 of the top 10 and 5 of all 23 which could come in above the benchmark return rate. And for a 5-year time frame, we saw 4 of the top 10 and 8 of the total 21 managing to beat that benchmark figure. Lastly, we have the flexi cap category, and all of those funds will be on your screen as well. The top 10 largest are once again on your screen. The benchmark return is 10.2%. So let's see how it stacks up. The best performing fund in this category has been the HDFC Flexi Cap Fund. This one actually saw a really solid return, 24% for 1 year. But you know, this is quite an outlier, because if you take a look at all of the rest after that, they don't look nearly as good, right? So the scorecard will show you that things aren't much better even when you expand the time frame and take a look at that. So for a one-year period, only 3 could beat it from the top 10 list, and from the total 28, only 5 managed to return, which was higher than the benchmark. Looking at the 3-year annualized returns, 3 of the top 10 and 6 of all 24 managed to beat the benchmark. And lastly, for a 5-year period, we had 4 of the top 10 and 7 of the total 21 which clocked in a return which was higher than the benchmark. So that is a recap of how large cap, mid cap as well as flexi cap funds have done. And while we have been talking about, equity flows being good, SIPs picking up month after month, it is important to highlight that fund managers have found it quite hard to beat the benchmark, at least in these 3 largest categories that I highlighted by size.